Hi, I'm Morgan, and I will be doing my creative presentation on 1 Kings 22, the story of Micaiah and his prophecies. So we know how this story begins. The king of Israel and Judah are about to launch a campaign against a city, and the king of Judah proposes that they inquire first for the word of the Lord. So this is the setting that we're at. As you can see, I'm painting kind of this mix of colors just because there's a lot of confusion, a lot of gray, and they are looking for wisdom and counsel from the Lord. So the king of Israel goes to assemble 400 prophets, and most of these prophets were not far apart, but actually a part of this guild. And these prophets come together and tell the king's story of success, and that the Lord is going to be with them and provide them all these great victories, and they have basically this party reenacting all the battles and being really excited. And these prophecies are making the king so excited and so happy and confident in his decision to begin this campaign. So you think that this is a great story and that the prophets are telling the truth and that the Lord is really looking at this situation fondly. So as you can see, I made my little 400 prophet heads, and I'm going back and adding question marks and some swirls because I wanted to capture the idea that although these prophecies brought a lot of comfort and excitement, we don't really know if they are true or not, because the Old Testament, the only way we could find out if a prophecy was real was by the test of time. So as we know, there's this prophet, Micaiah ben Imlah. Sorry for that pronunciation. But the messenger goes to Micaiah and says to him in 1 Kings 22:13 and says, "Look, the words of the prophets with one accord are favorable to the king. Let your word be like the word of one of them and speak favorably." But then Micaiah says something kind of brave in 14 and says, "As the Lord lives, whatever the Lord says to me, that I will speak." So Micaiah goes before the kings pretty boldly, and in 1 Kings 22:19 he says, "Therefore hear the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, with all the hosts of heaven standing beside him, to the right and to the left of him. And the Lord said, Who will entice Ahab so that he may go and fall? And then one said one thing and another said another, until his spirit came forward and stood before the Lord, saying, I will entice him." "How?" the Lord asked him. He replied, "I will go out and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all the prophets." Then the Lord said, "You are to entice him, and you shall succeed. Go out and do it." So you see, the Lord has put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these your prophets. The Lord has decreed disaster for you. And as we know, the king is rightfully mad because he's now genuinely confused, because who's telling the truth? The 400 prophets that gave him success stories, or this one random guy that shows up and tells him that the Lord is trying to trick him? And so as you can see, I'm painting Micaiah's prophecy with the heavenly host and their angel wings, and them basically coming up with this plan to trick the kings, to get them to fall and fail. And I think to describe the kind of style I'm using in this painting is very dreamlike, very big strokes and confusing lines, and nothing very clear, because that's kind of what these prophecies are. And they caused a lot of confusion and a lot of uncertainty, but they also were so important in the entire Old Testament, and I wanted to capture that attitude. So I wanted to end my presentation with a little bit of uncertainty and chaos and confusion myself, and by painting this whole scene black and kind of covering up and mixing up all the different colors and creating chaos and confusion. I just wanted to show that time will tell what this story comes out to and what all the prophecies mean. And even though there is uncertainty and confusion, when things work out in the end and come to a full circle, we can see whether these prophecies were true or not. I really had a fun time creating this project, and I hope that everything was clear in my artwork, and I just want to say thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to watching everyone else's presentations.